In light of the fact that we have covered all of the relevant subjects in today's film, we ought to proceed immediately, take a relaxed position, and relax. The proof is beyond any reasonable doubt. In order to establish an indisputable bridge, JP Morgan is utilizing XRP and XRPL. At the same time, gentlemen, everything will be resolved on its own before long. Indeed, it is really a matter of time. An enormous shout-out is given to CypressX in the video that we have today. There have been only 960 views of the recently released film, which is a tribute to the multi-chain nation. The statements made by James from Axel and Jazzy Cooper from Ripple regarding this matter are summed up in this. In the event that the value of XRP begins to increase, the market is functioning exceptionally well, with Moon reaching double digits and even triple digits simultaneously. I have nothing further to say before we go on to the more interesting aspects of the situation. My goodness, I felt compelled to bring this to your attention because a number of you have asked for it. In addition, we found a bundle of 9 enormous brown items. On the other hand, there are only 2 large black items left in the wild. It's okay, there are only 2 more to go before we reach 5. The brown piece that is the largest is followed by 2 brown pieces that are smaller and do not provide mediums. A total of fewer than 18 pieces are still available, with the exception of the large and the extra large sizes. With the exception of the 2 enormous chunks, the remaining parts are brown in color. Take a listen to the conversation that is taking place on the podcast of Multi-Chain Nation. I would like to respond to Mr. James Frail by saying that I find this to be absurd, and I am intrigued to see how quickly the wider financial institutional environment will come to terms with tokenizing particular asset portfolios that are open to public inspection. Both the work that Deutsche Bank is performing with the XLR and the work that JP Morgan has finished with Project Guardian should be taken into consideration. You will have to wait till they reveal additional information about the testing that they are undertaking for this proof of concept when they present their work on this project in November. They will present their work on this project. This is very exciting information, and we are quickly approaching the point when we will be able to acquire the infrastructure that will enable us to proceed. Ripple has the ability to serve as a critical hub, leading the process of tokenizing new sorts of assets for larger financial institutions, and we are convinced that this is something that it is now capable of doing. Because of this, he will be able to say with complete assurance that Ripple is well positioned to make a substantial effect. When they said Axel at JP Morgan recalling Project Onyx, you play a big role in the hub, which includes all of the material that we have been discussing on this channel. Wow, Apostolo, do you remember the simple diagram that I made to illustrate something? For the purpose of tokenization, Wisdom Tree and JP Morgan provided both standard and alternatives to assets. We at Onyx and Oasis Proof tokenized these assets on 3 different permission blockchain settings in order to create this fragmented environment. These environments are the permissioned Avalanche subnet, the Onyx Digital Assets Platform, and the permission zone of the Providence blockchain. Axis and Layer 0 are the 2 interoperability solutions that we created in order to allow communication between these distinct platforms. Instead of just one, we implemented both of them. At some point in the future, individuals will watch these videos and provide feedback. Why are we failing to notice this? We were too distracted with other things to realize the chance that was right in front of us to collect a tremendous fortune in a completely new industry where everything of value will be tokenized. However, we were able to see it clearly. On a blockchain, everything will be converted to digital form. As you can see from their conversation, when it happens, it will not only generate great profits, but it will also be the biggest opportunity I will ever have in my entire life to obtain fortune. Please have a look at what JP Morgan has accomplished with regard to Project Guardian. Despite the fact that I will summarize what we have already spoken about, it is essential that you pay attention to what Jazzy has to say. The statements made by Jazzy in this passage about how we are only at the beginning, and certainly based on talks with a great number of other people, this is only the beginning. Along the same lines that James indicated, we are eager to find out what follows next and when we will be able to access this value. Everything is going to go awry. There is participation from the project manager in the conversation. Let's take a moment to review the project. Collaboration is required for the Guardian project to be successful. You can see that authorities in the financial sector are working together to improve the efficiency and liquidity of financial markets through the process of asset tokenization. Bank of New York Mellon City DBSS, the standard chart for the German central bank. It is a fact that approximately 80% of the organizations that are listed here are involved with Ripple in some way, either directly or indirectly. It is made clear in that PDF that they acknowledge this fact. There is a possibility that the services will be presented by a third-party service provider who has a connection to the trust anchor. It is possible for service providers to delegate duty to a trust anchor once a trust link has been established, and they should also remember to follow up with the entity that was mentioned earlier, reducing the need for them to individually onboard participants in the process. Do you remember what the chief executive officer of the NSE Bank remarked a few weeks ago? I am talking to the countless meetings and closures that they are now debating for the time being. Everyone is going to be surprised when we take a look behind the scenes, but from the point of view of the end user, what are some advantages that this technology can provide that were not available till today? In this section, I will discuss the Ripple ecosystem once more and explain how the U symbol can be utilized for the Internet of Value, which is a concept that has been concocted by individuals. Specifically, the network that we are building to ease money transfers between banks and payment providers is the focal point of our entire concept, which centers around the internet. We refer to it as an internet of value due to the fact that it is really similar to the internet. An internet of value is what we talk about when we talk about the internet of value that individuals have right now. Value can be found in the internet. I am curious as to how he actually came up with it and why I am experiencing such a positive outlook. I am giving you all a heads up that this circumstance is going to be quite hectic. There are a great number of locked doors that are being concealed, which prevents them from providing you with any disclosure of information. My 10 years of experience working in the banking industry within a regulated industry have provided me with a comprehensive understanding of the events that are taking place. Furthermore, because we are at such an early stage in this ecosystem, their acts will be 10 times longer and 10 times more covert than they are now. Let us now view a video that was created by Daniel Eden and pay special attention to the message that he presented. In his job at the BuyEyes, he places a strong emphasis on developing meaningful connections inside the network. When migration is taken into consideration, the value of a network rises in proportion to the number of items that are linked to it. The definition of networks can be expressed in this manner. I believe that we are all looping back and forth in different ways, and that eventually, from one network to another, there will eventually reach a critical mass, a tipping point, or a threshold when a new network becomes more valuable than the one that came before it. Are you acting in a truthful manner? Did you come across that? You will eventually make the switch from the old network to the new one, approaching a critical mass or tipping point when your value in the new network will increase. This transition will take place at some point in time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a collaborative effort. It is important to bear in mind that I have been working on this for a very long time as we prepare to wrap up the program for today. It is not possible for a whole new monetary system to suddenly present itself across the entire Earth. When it comes to investing in Ripple possessing bank IDs, which you are aware is a joke and a scam on their document page, the fact that the value of XRP has not altered since its birth ought to be one of the most positive things that have ever occurred. In every aspect of this, there is a deception. To tell you the truth, I am not even familiar with some of these financial institutions, such as the Bank of Changsha and the Bank of Beijing. My guess is that the Bank of Shanghai is with you at this moment. A purchase was made of JP Morgan. In particular, when addressing the bridge tokens that connect Ethereum and the Ripple open source website, I will continue to behave as if I were requesting that you elucidate on the reasons why Ripple cannot be compared to any other cryptocurrency firm. When converting XRP to Ethereum, you will need to use 1 XRP, which is equal to the quantity of XRP that you want to bridge. Imagine this happening on a scale that is measured in trillions of dollars. It has been firmly declared by Citibank that we will see daily volume in the territory of trillions. Are you aware of the significance of the daily volume of trillions that you are managing? I would like to provide you with a small illustration of the coin market capitalization for your kind consideration. As of right now, the daily volume is estimated to be $62 billion, but it is anticipated that it will increase to billions of trillions in the subsequent years. You are familiar with the technology behind blockchain. I am rather curious to find out how, ladies and gentlemen, you will proceed. Over the course of the next few years, this technology is going to experience substantial expansion, reaching billions of volumes and scales on a daily basis. Every single one of you has my deepest gratitude. I would appreciate it if you provided your feedback in the comments section below.